Is state of production week 3 and 4 actually. Sorry I didn't get one in last week. I got a new job and my computer was down for a little bit, but I'm getting back into the swing of things. So yes, state of production for project Zaburia. I did come up with a different name for the game, which I like. It's kind of difficult coming up with a name, just because I feel like there'd be so many. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of new to that too, the legal side of things. I'll have to look into that at some point. I saw some resources on Reddit about that. They called it like the yellow pages or something. So yeah, anyway, like I said, getting back into the swing of things now. What I did over the past 2 weeks, I got the vehicle working. I can drive something around. There's a driver, passenger. There's trunk space. So you use WASD to drive around. So the W to go forward, S to go backwards, brake backwards, A for right turn, A for left turn, D for right turn. You have to be pressing forward, so W to do the turn. And then while you're seated in the car, you can press C, and that'll change what seat you're in. Something I haven't had implemented yet, but I do need to get implemented, because the view on the car while you're driving is very narrow, I guess you could say. I need to be able to zoom in and out, and I would also like to have the rotate the car, kind of like when you're outside the car, just as the player. So that would obviously that would be very nice. Future plans for the car, I would like to have, you left click, you have the horn, or I don't know, some button you have the horn, probably space bar actually, and then do like a right click, left click for the blinkers. You have the lights on, turn the lights on, turn the lights off. I like to have vehicle health, so if you have a one player driving by, you have another player that's they see the vehicle driving by, they can shoot out the tires, or they could shoot through the glass, or even just through the car, and they could damage not only the car, but they could damage the player. So the character, I guess. I don't know, in that situation it's kind of a weird term. But anyway, they could damage the person that they're shooting at and the car. And then also, so you have the vehicle health, so maybe you could do, get out, repair the vehicle, whether that's just individual tires, or you just kind of like get your little wrench and crank, and there it is, you fix the vehicle. So something like that. As far as, let's see, the last time I left off, it was the building transparencies. That's like if you walk into a building and you do the culling of some sort. I still kind of in the same spot. Honestly, I haven't put a whole lot of work into that. Excuse me. Let's see, for the character controls, I think I mentioned this the last time. I'm kind of done with how the character controls are. There's still some bugs with them. Just the running. You can't run in every direction. You can only run forward. So in that sense, like, you can only run what is relative north. on your screen. That shouldn't be the case, because that's just goofy. You should be able to run essentially what is backwards or left or right, depending on which way your character is moving. And then also there's kind of a weird just animation glitch. Not really glitch, it's not in there right. Bug, I guess you could call it, and I think it has to do with the orientation with the running, where the player can basically like moonwalk. That needs to be fixed. So the way that the player can be walking one way and looking another, their entire body is doing that, not just like their legs are walking one way and their torso is looking the other way. That's the way it should be. So I guess the next thing is I've started working on menus. This was last night actually. I got a block out of the main menu. It'll just be because I want to have like a 3D menu. Well, a menu with a 3D background, like a 3D scene back there, and there'll be stuff going on. Nothing crazy, but you see in like a good example would be the Left 4 Dead menu that they had on the Xbox version, where you just have like a street view, then you have stuff going on down on the street. That was kind of what I was thinking of when I set it up. And yeah, I did get an asset pack. Honestly, I did that to kind of save time, and also because it's the look that I was going for. I really like it, the look that it has, and I mean, there are other games out there that have it, which is kind of frustrating, but personally I think they poorly execute it because they do more of an asset flip, and that's not what I'm going to do. Most of, if not all of the models in this pack, I'm going to end up retexturing to a degree, whether it's just changing the color or just putting some type of I don't know, roughness on them to where they look, not so flat. It's to give them more life, really. And that's the other thing too. The UVs on these models are, they're not laid out very nice. They are horrendous. These models are made to have very, like if there's lettering, like words on one of these models, it's not like that's not a texture. That is modeled onto the that's part of the geometry, and they just shrink down those UVs and put it onto the texture, like the old 256 color palettes. That's what I would compare that to. They're just kind of like, yeah, it's it'll be interesting to work around, but I like that stuff. I went to school for game art and animation, and 3D modeling and texturing is the core of what I do. So I find that enjoyable. I mean, granted, setting up UV space for a for a model is definitely the most not fun part of it, but I still like it. So I'm looking forward to it. And also, along the lines of the texturing, like some of it's going to be just like the coloring. That I want to have. I'll have to have it match the lighting that I'm going to do. Because I wouldn't say a large part, but there are parts of the game that are inspired by Tiberian Sun, one of my favorite games. Actually, it is my favorite game. And there's a particular concept art that I'm thinking of that I really like. I think it's like an ion storm that's going on. That's what it looks like. It's an ion storm that's going on. It's like not a happy picture at all. It's dark outside. There's like a sandstorm. You got lightning strike, and it's just kind of like really dark. So that's kind of the look I'm going for in some areas of the game. So it's going to be very depressing. Well, I'm over my time, so yeah, thanks for listening, and sorry I didn't get something in last week. I'll definitely have something up next week. Over this next week, I hope to, actually I will have I'll have a main menu, a functional main menu. I would like to get some type of like a multiplayer. You have your main menu, you click single player, you can new load, and then I'll have a pause menu when you're actually in game, and then when I'm for the multiplayer, I click multiplayer, you can create new, host, basically host a new server, which would be save to, host a local is what that would do. And then you could join a server. And then there'd be like options, so you could change video. I don't think I'll get that far in it, but I don't know, I'll see where I get. So probably most of this week might be spent on the menu. I'll probably finish up a little bit of the car just with the camera, and I don't know, maybe I'll finally do something with the character just for boredom's sake. I do have some stuff. I have a checklist somewhere that I should have wrote down before I got into this, but anyway, I'm 3 minutes over what I was supposed to talk for my 10 minutes. But anyway, thank you for listening. I'll see you next week. Bye.